The sun was warm on my face that Saturday afternoon, but inside, I felt nothing but ice. The backyard was alive with laughter, the smell of charcoal and sizzling steaks drifting through the air, kids chasing each other around the old oak tree. It was our monthly family barbecue at Alex's parents' house, the kind of gathering I used to look forward to. 7 years of marriage, 2 beautiful children, and I still showed up with my homemade potato salad and a hopeful smile, trying so hard to belong. I had spent the morning chopping vegetables, seasoning meat, wanting everything perfect. When Alex started bragging about his latest big deal at work, I felt a little spark of pride. I stepped forward, wiping my hands on my apron, and said softly, "Honey, maybe I could help with the client emails or even the social media. I've been learning so much lately." That's when it happened. Alex turned to me with that familiar half smile, the one that used to make me feel safe. But this time it was different. He laughed, loud enough for everyone to hear, and waved his hand toward the simple platter I just carried out. "Babe," he said, voice dripping with amusement, "this is all you can handle." His sister snorted. His mother covered her mouth, eyes sparkling with laughter. His father clapped him on the back like it was the best joke of the year. The whole family joined in, their chuckles rolling over me like a wave I couldn't escape. My cheeks burned, my stomach twisted into a knot so tight I could barely breathe. I stood there frozen, the platter suddenly feeling like it weighed 1,000 pounds, while the man I loved reduced me to nothing in front of everyone who mattered. I wanted to sink into the grass and disappear. But in that exact moment, something inside me shifted. I looked straight into Alex's eyes, those same eyes that had promised me forever, and I asked the one question that would change everything. "Alex, if this is all I can handle, then why have you been sending thousands of dollars every month to Emma's account?" The laughter stopped dead. Silence crashed over the backyard like a storm no one saw coming. Alex's face went pale, the color draining so fast I thought he might faint right there by the grill. His mother's wine glass froze halfway to her lips. His sister stared at me like I'd grown to heads. The only sound was the distant squeal of the kids, completely unaware that their father's world was cracking open. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I just stood there, heart hammering so hard I could feel it in my throat, and waited. Because I already knew the answer. I had known for weeks. It started with little things I tried to ignore: late nights, phone calls he took in the garage, the way he flinched when I walked into the room. Then came the bank alerts on my phone. Transfers. Large ones. Labeled consulting, but going straight to a woman named Emma, his so-called assistant. I stayed quiet at first. I told myself it was a mistake, that our marriage was worth fighting for, that our children deserved their father. I cried alone in the shower. I stared at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering what I had done wrong, why I wasn't enough. But the mockery that day, it broke the last piece of me that was still holding on. Something in me finally snapped. I had spent years shrinking myself to fit into his world, smiling through every subtle insult, every "you're so lucky" comment from his family. I had given up my own dreams of going back to school, of building something for myself, Because Alex always made me feel like I couldn't handle more. And now he was standing there laughing at me while secretly tearing our life apart. Alex tried to recover. Laurel, what are you talking about? His voice cracked. You're embarrassing yourself. But I was done being embarrassed. I pulled out my phone right there, hands steady for the first time in weeks, and read the statements aloud. Dates, amounts, even the sweet little notes Emma had sent him that I'd found backed up on our shared cloud. The family's faces changed from shock to horror as the truth spilled out. His mother whispered, Alex, tell me this isn't true. His father looked like he'd been punched. I watched my husband, the man I had built my entire world around, stumble through weak excuses. It was just stress relief. It didn't mean anything. Each word felt like another shard of glass in my chest. I had loved him so completely. I had trusted him with every fragile piece of my heart. And he had treated me like I was too small to notice when he was destroying us. Tears finally came, but they weren't from weakness anymore. They were from the deep, aching realization that the betrayal had been happening long before that barbecue. He hadn't just cheated on me. He had spent years making sure I stayed small so I would never question him. The pain was unbearable, but beneath it, something new was stirring. A quiet, burning strength I didn't know I had. The rest of that afternoon unfolded like a slow-motion nightmare for him and the beginning of freedom for me. Alex's father demanded the full truth, voice shaking with disappointment. His mother couldn't even look at her son. His sister, who had laughed the loudest minutes earlier, now stared at the ground in silence. The family that had always sided with him turned in an instant when they realized he had been stealing from the very accounts they helped us manage. Money meant for our children's future. Money I had trusted him to protect. He tried one last time to twist it, to make me the crazy one. But the evidence was there in black and white, and the family saw it all. By the time the sun began to set, Alex was loading his things into his car while his father quietly told me the house would stay with me and the kids. His mother hugged me for the first time in years and whispered, "We're so sorry, Laura. We never knew." I didn't scream. I didn't gloat. I simply watched him drive away, his shoulders slumped. The same man who had once made me feel invincible now exposed and alone. The revenge wasn't loud or cruel, it was quiet justice. The life he tried to keep me trapped in became the one he lost. Within months, the affair ended. His reputation in the family business crumbled, and I finally started the online courses I had dreamed about. I built something of my own, something small at first, then stronger, just like me. Looking back now, I realize that painful day at the family barbecue didn't destroy me. It freed me. The words that were meant to break me, "This is all you can handle," became the moment I proved everyone wrong. I learned that the deepest betrayals often come from the people we trust most, but they also carry the greatest gifts, the chance to finally see our own worth. If you're listening to this and someone has ever made you feel small, remember this: your voice matters. One question, spoken from the quiet strength inside you, can change everything. I'm no longer the woman who smiled through the humiliation. I'm the woman who stood up, protected her children, and chose herself. And that peace, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever known.